Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan and today we are back with another World Circuit race. This is the last of the World Touring Car races, a series of races that I've really enjoyed, and I'll be sorry to see the back of them, although I will be using them for grinding. So I've just checked that we are on the hard settings, and then we're going to head across to the World Touring Car 800, which is going to be held at the Tokyo Expressway. I'm just going to sort the car into a particular order so that I can find the car that I'm going to use for this particular race. And I think I'm going to go with the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Looks like an ideal option for this one. It is an expensive car, but it is an amazing car. We've got the racing medium tyres on, and we've got an output adjustment of 70, ballast of 133 and a power restrictor of 70 to bring the PP just under the 800. There are obviously other cars that you could use with this one, but I tended to find that the Valkyrie is just superb around here, and well, it's just a lovely car to drive, and it's an Aston Martin at the end of the day. So this is the World Touring Car 800 at the Tokyo Expressway. We're starting in 20th position and we need to get to the front of the field, and we've got a full 10 laps to do that. So plenty of time. This is around about a 20 odd minute race, I would think, with this particular car. Down the main straight, one of the first things you want to do is get into the slipstream of these other cars, but be minded of the braking point as you go up the hill, because you're going to need to brake way before that little dip as it goes upwards. You can use a lot of the chevrons on the top there to negotiate the corner, and if you're tucked up behind cars as I am, again, use all of the chevrons just to work your way through the corner as best as you can without trying to run into people. We're going to try and keep this one as clean as we can. This is Tokyo Expressway after all. It's very fast, it's very tight, it's very windy, some very fast sweeping corners, and very often I will find myself brushing the wall or the barrier. So if that happens, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Likewise, if I do run into the back or the side of one of the AI cars, again, I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm not looking for a clean race bonus, I'm looking for the trophy for this particular race. So as we come around this tight left-hander, we then got to run down to the extremely tights. It's I call it a hairpin bend, but it is really a double right-hander where you can close up really quickly, and if you treat that as one single corner, then you can carry some decent speed through there. And then obviously what you're looking for is as much speed on the exit that you can then carry all the way down this very long straight. And this is really all about slipstreaming now. You want to be slipstreaming a car, and then you want to get on the back of another one, slipstream that, move across, get on the back of another one, and then just use the benefit of the slipstream to pull yourself through the traffic. And you can see just how many cars I'm now overtaking using that slipstream. I can't remember where we were when we started, but we're now up to 6th place already. And with the speed, I just had to get that slowed down as we went across the top for the two right-handers. And you saw there, we just nudged the barrier because we were carrying so much speed into the corners. So at that point, pretty much at the end of the first lap, at the end of the straight, at the end of the first lap, we have overtaken all of the back markers. The next batch of cars, 5 of them. So we got Yamanaka, Fraga, Mendoza, Portilla, Beauvoir, all names that we're becoming very familiar with now. These are very fast cars, and you can see that we are currently running 16 seconds behind the leader. And as we come up to this little uphill section, we're going to try and get down the inside of the Supra. Didn't quite happen. We're side by side all the way through here. You can have some fantastic racing in this particular race. It is very, very enjoyable, but we find ourselves up into 5th gear as we approach this little hairpin for the last time. Can we get on the back of Fragger and get a tow down this long straight? Looks like Fragger got onto the power a little bit earlier and a little bit cleaner than we did. But this Aston Martin is just awesome. Plus, you've got the electrical energy in here that we can deploy, so you can see them just, pushing the overtake button all of the time to push through this. And that overtake button is just amazing, especially down this straight, because you can just use it and use it and use it and use it. And then when you get into the braking zones, it's going to recover that energy, so it's ready to use again. And this is another major advantage of this Aston Martin Valkyrie, and why I think it's well worth the 4 million credits that it costs. It's not cheap, but it is one heck of a car, and I would advise anybody to grind away to get this car, because it is brilliant and it's perfect for this particular race. So we're on lap 3 now. We are being chased by Fragger behind, and we are now 4.5 seconds away from Mendoza in 3rd place, and we are 17 seconds off of the leader. And at certain points of the track they're going away from us, and at certain points of the track we're reeling them in. So my aim here is just to try and go as far as we can into this race. Lap 3, so we're just coming up for a third of the way through the race, and we've used a quarter of the tank of fuel, so we should be okay on fuel. If we can look after our tyres, then hopefully we can get to the end without pitting, and hopefully a few of these other cars will need to pit. But we are managing to do this just about on track, so we're now up to 3rd place at this point. Now just about 16 seconds behind the leader, 11 seconds off of Portilla. Both Wah and Portilla are both pitting now. So we have one on the hard and one on the soft tyres, and we've gone for the racing medium. We've got a little bit of weather coming in as well now, so weather is potentially going to become a little bit of an issue that we're going to need to watch. So I'm going to leave the weather radar on for the moment, but that is us up into the 1st place on lap 4. So with regards to braking and acceleration, obviously you can pause and rewind the video, but just as you go past the 200 meter board, between the 200 and where you go up, I'm burying the brake pedal down into 3rd gear, now using these hatchings both on the inside, the outside, and then basically again here on the inside, using those hatchings to try and carry as much of the speed through that corner as you can. Now we go up through the gears. As we get to this very fast left-hander, just 5th gear, throttle the accelerator if you need to, but I'm pretty much flat through there, still in 5th. Braking as you hit the beginning of those white dotted lines there in the 4th gear, and you can carry an enormous amount of speed in this car through here. Up into 5th through here, just be brave, look for the apex, and then bury the brake pedal down into 5th for that particular corner. And then this one, you're looking for that 50 meter board. Just brake a little bit just to settle the car down, and then just try and carry the speed through these corners. This is so fast that I can barely keep up talking and narrating this particular one. I am doing this after the fact. For this particular corner, we're looking for the 150 meter board, burying the brake pedal all the way to the apex. Gone a little bit deep, but that was absolutely fine through there. We've managed to treat the car as one complete curve. Sorry, treat the corner, the complex, as one complete curve, and managed to get that rotated around there quite nicely to then carry some speed down this main straight, which is now putting us 4.5 seconds ahead of the cars behind. Now Mendoza behind us is catching, although Mendoza has now come in for his pit stop, as has Fraga. So again, they're on the hard and medium tyres, so we've got a real mix of tyres in this particular race. Yamanaka's in on hard, we've got Solis in on mediums, so the AI has gone for a real mix of different tyres. And I guess there's probably no right or wrong tyre to be on in this particular race. but I found that the racing medium suited my driving style. I do tend to slide the car around a little bit. I do tend to brake a little bit late, so I do punish the tyres just a bit. But you'll notice with regards to the tyres that we are around about, well, very little wear on the fronts, and we've got a little bit of wear on the back, so we could adjust the brake balance just to level that up a little bit. I don't think I do in this race, but we can have a look and see. I think I left the brake balance alone. But halfway through the lap, and we're not quite halfway worn on the rear tyres, so tyres are going to be a little bit second hand by the time we get to the end of this race. They could be sliding around a little bit, so we just need to keep that in mind. And what I really need to do at this point is just to settle down with a 7-second lead, or just under 7-second lead. Just settle down and look after these tyres a little bit more. Be a little bit more careful with the acceleration, be a little bit more careful with the braking and the turning in. So there we go. We are coming up to finish lap number 5 and to start the second half of this race. And at the moment with this particular car, we've got everything fairly well under control. The weather is staying out to the east, so we don't have any weather worries at the moment. We haven't got to come in for intermediate tyres or anything like that. We are 5 seconds ahead of the car behind as we start that new lap. And our times aren't too bad. We've got a 1:56.1, a 1:57.6, 1:58.1 and a 1:59.7. So not doing overly bad on the lap times, just keeping it honest and even. Another car in who was on mediums, and another one, actually 2 cars in, again a split tyre preference for the AI, one on hard and one on medium. Not too many cars appear to be running the soft tyres. I think Beauvoir was running soft, and they were one of the first to pit, if my memory serves me correct. Otherwise, I think most of the tyres that I've seen from the AI have been hard and medium, which again points to my choice of medium tyres potentially being the best way to go. We've got 5.5 seconds to the car behind, which doesn't really give us a lot of time to do a pit stop. If we were to pit now to put a new set of tyres on, yes, the car's going to drive better, yes, we're going to have more grip, but it's going to put us back in the pack with work to be done. And we're 8 seconds ahead of Beauvoir, so we would almost definitely fall, well, we would fall behind that car. We've got Portilla looking at the little map in the top right hand corner, is a bit behind him. So I think we would probably drop maybe to 3rd and 4th place if we were to pit. Potentially further back if we don't have a good pit stop, but we normally have good pit stops on Gran Turismo 7, so issues don't normally happen, so we should be okay, but we're definitely going to drop back a bit. But there we go, lap 7, and Beauvoir on soft tyres again is having to pit. So quite clearly the soft tyres are just wearing too much around here, and they are not the tyre of choice in my particular opinion. So for my strategy, I would go racing medium tyres, look after them as best as you can during this race. Just keep your head down, watch for the braking zones, watch for the gears, and obviously you can pause and rewind this video just to analyse where I'm braking and the gears that I'm using. And just keep your head down and just do what we do, just race. The pit stops, the other cars are going to pit, that is going to give you an opportunity to overtake through the pit phase. If we're not going to pit at all and other cars are going to pit once or twice, then that is going to result in what we're seeing now, a 30-second lead over the car behind. Now that is almost getting into pit stop territory. I'm not quite sure how long a pit stop takes around here, but I'm suspecting a pit stop is around about 30-ish seconds. So now we would potentially come out in maybe second, possibly third place. But I've also noticed that the cars behind seem to be catching the leaders a little bit. So again, if we were to pit and not be able to get out in front of the cars behind, then we would be in trouble. In actual fact, I did decide to pit. I took the option just to ditch these tyres. It was sliding around a little bit, and just took a little dab of fuel as well. I'm just going to take that up to halfway just to give us enough fuel. So that was a precautionary stop. The strategy was to go all the way. In hindsight, it didn't quite pan out, but we have, I think, managed to come out in first place. Looking at the map, we seem to have come out well ahead of the second place. Yes, 15 seconds. So that pit stop, where I thought was going to be around about a 30-second pit stop, was far, far, far less. It was around about 15 to 20 seconds lost in that pit stop. So if you can get yourself 30-second lead like I did, then you've got the options to come in, put another set of racing mediums on, or at this point you could almost go for the soft option if you really wanted to. I went with the medium just because I'd been running on the medium. I got the feel for the car running on the medium and didn't really want to change anything up. That was my main motivation for just sticking with the same tyres. But with only, well, effectively 3 laps to run, 8, 9 and 10, you could have gone with the soft tyres, remembering that Beauvoir was eating their tyres up in around about 3 or 4 laps, so they would have been quite badly worn at the end of the race. And again, that was another reason for me opting for the racing mediums, just so that they would last right the way through. I mean, we'd done 6-7 laps on our tyres, and there was still a little bit of life left in them. But we didn't lose out by doing that pit stop. By putting the tyres on, we've given ourselves more of an opportunity to bring this home cleanly, rather than sliding into barriers and getting any penalties or losing speed through hitting barriers. And obviously we just put a little bit of extra fuel in there just to make sure that we could bring this home without any worries. So we're a little bit above quarter full right now, with effectively 1 3/4 laps to go. So just bury the brake pedal just before you go up the hill. If you bury the brake pedal as you hit that bump going up, then you're going to be visiting the wall. At least that's what I found. Just using all of the track at the moment. No worries about weather. Remember to push that overtake button. You know, right now I'm pushing it just to get a little bit of extra speed through here. We are off now, and then we are going to be building the electrical energy as we're braking through these corners. You can see the little green light below the energy gauge just flashing as it is recharging, and then that will give us a little bit of charge that we can use for the long straight if we need it. Obviously we're not going to come up against any cars to overtake during the race. We did at the beginning, so using the overtake button initially was all important, but right now we can just use the overtake button to build the gap to Beauvoir and Portilla behind us, and to make sure that we stay out in front. And at the end of the day, you know, on this particular car, if we don't use it, we'll lose it, because it does recharge pretty quickly. You can see there, I've been using the overtake button a little bit around that lap, and we have still got just about half of the energy is available to us. So you can see the overtake button flashing red there, so pushing the overtake button all the way down through here for an extra boost. And you can see that as we cross the line, I've come off the overtake button, and we've still got a small amount of electrical energy that is available to us. Pushing it again. This car is just amazing. It never fails to surprise me how good this car is. It's well planted, it handles beautifully, You've got the benefit of the overtake button. You've got a reasonably large fuel tank in this as well. I've just leaned off the fuel for the moment. No real reason. We are on the final lap. We've got 2.3 laps of fuel remaining. So we're sitting on fuel level 4 at the moment. I didn't pay too much attention at the beginning of the video. Maybe just pause and check that. It might have been that I was on on that power setting earlier on. I am narrating this one afterwards, and I didn't really look at the power setting. But even on 4, this is still tanking around here, and already we are back up to 36 seconds ahead of the second place. So this isn't just a win, this is an absolute killing of a win. We are so far out in front on the hard settings. 10 laps of this pretty long circuit, round about 20-minute race, and we're winding up. I mean, can we make 40 seconds? We're making up time now, 39.2. We're going to make 40 seconds as we head down the fast straight. This looks like we're going to come across the line with a full lap of fuel left, over 40 seconds ahead of the car behind. This Aston Martin Valkyrie is just amazing. Over 41 seconds ahead of the best of the rest. We didn't get a clean race bonus. We touched the wall a couple of times and potentially touched the car. So you would have a much better payout if you went with a clean race bonus. But as I said, this was all really about just getting that trophy in this beautiful car. And I love it with this Aston Martin Formula 1 Aston Martin inspired livery. It's not exactly the same as the Aston Martin one, but I just love the use of the Aston Martin wings, the green, the yellow accent colour. It's just a beautiful livery that somebody uploaded and that I have used. And forgive me, I can't remember who actually uploaded it, but I can't praise this car highly enough. It made this one such an easy race. So that was my car, my strategy, how I ran the World Touring Car 800 at the Tokyo Expressway. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please hit the like button because it really helps the channel. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button to help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before Christmas. And if you're a current subscriber, back for more. Thank you ever so much for continuing to support me. I am very, very, very grateful for your continued support, and the growing community of people that follow me at the moment and commenting is absolutely brilliant. For now, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.